If I mention the name Carol Vorderman, what's the first thing that springs to mind? Is it the maths genius who starred on Countdown for more than 25 years? Or is it her angry anti-government rants that she seems to specialise in recently? Vorderman is an honorary RAF group captain, but her repeated abuse of the Tories left some senior officials discussing whether she should be stripped of the role. I'm joined now by Squadron Leader Graham Laurie, who in a distinguished career was responsible for flying members of the royal family. Graham, thank you very, very much. So Carol Vorderman has come out and tweeted some rather nasty things, hasn't she, about the Conservative government, which hopefully at some point will bring you some examples of. What do you make of it? Do you think that she should be stripped of her honorary positions?
Well, this, I think, is a difficult situation because it's been caused by social media. When I was in the Royal Air Force between 1964 and 2000, we'd only just started to get mobile phones. And, of course, this now is the norm. And I noticed that the RAF have said that it's up to the individual now to use social media. But, you know, in this situation, it started as a political thing and the RAF have got dragged into it. What they should do, I think it will die within a few days if she doesn't start quoting again. And then the RAF can decide in slow time whether they continue to use her or not.
She's called the Tories a lying bunch of greedy, corrupt, destructive, hateful, divisive, gaslighting crooks, which, you know, next time, say what you really think, Carol, I suppose. Should somebody like that be having anything to do with the Royal Air Force, do you think?
OK, well, in my view, the answer is no. But, of course, things have changed since I left. As far as I'm concerned, a serviceman acts for the monarch, and it is up to the senior officers at the Ministry of Defence to decide what goes on outside of that. I mean, in my day, I don't think it would have happened because it would not have dragged on. We didn't have that facility. You might have said something to a friend, but it wouldn't have got out to the world as it does now. And it's just yet another problem with social media.
Yeah, indeed. She's also absolutely slated Rishi Sunak, so Rishi Sunak lies. The new flying tax doesn't exist. Compulsory car sharing doesn't exist. Mandatory insulation upgrade doesn't exist. Mind you, a recycling bin each for dozy, nasty, dodgy, greedy, shouty and bully at the general election is a grand idea. I assume that she is, of course, talking about a variety of different Conservative Party ministers. No, everyone's entitled to their views. Of course they are. I mean, she's not, you know, in a role I would have suggested normally in her day-to-day life where she's not a civil servant or something like that. So fair enough, I suppose. You know, she's got the right to free speech. I suppose the question is whether or not, when you are representing, you know, things to do with the RAF, whether you need to just zip it a little bit and show a little bit more decorum.
I think that sets it up as it should be. In other words, you cut back and be careful. If she wants to carry on with that role, then she needs to be careful what she's saying on social media. And as far as the RAF are concerned, I think eventually, if she does carry on, they're going to have to act.
Yeah, she said a couple of quite petulant, maybe, things to Johnny Mercer and his wife. So Johnny Mercer, the Veterans Minister. It appeared that Carol Vorderman had teased them, been a bit mean to them, about not having university degrees. It was seen as a little bit snobbish, I think. And that, I thought, was a little bit below the belt, and maybe she needs to stop doing things like that. But, you know, what kind of person do you think should be in a role representing the RAF? What kind of people were there in your day? What kind of ambassadorial positions were there, really?
Well, it's unusual to have an ambassador with the rank of group captain. I agree. I don't recollect one existing in my time. But once you take on a role of that, I was formerly an ambassador for the RAF Benevolent Fund, and so was my wife. And again, when we went out talking about the fund, we were careful to just stick to the fund and what good they were doing for veterans and certain servicemen at the time. And you were always aware that you were there to promote what you're dealing with. And in her case, she is an ambassador for the Royal Air Force, but mainly for the Air Cadets. I think that's why she was selected, to get the youngsters involved. And really, what she's doing on Twitter is her political views, which are nothing to do with her ambassador role.
I just don't understand what the point is. I mean, look,
action is going to have to be taken.
Seriously, maybe I'm missing something here. No doubt Carol will point out to me exactly what I'm missing on Twitter later on. But what on earth has she got to do with the RAF? Like, why, Air Cadet Ambassador, Honorary Group Captain, that was back in November 2014. Yeah, seriously, maybe I am missing something now. Maybe people are shouting at the TV screens or the radio, and there's something about Carol Vorderman's past that I don't know. But it just seems like a really odd appointment. I mean, you'd be great at it.
Yeah, I think she was taken. Remember, back in 2014, she was well known on television, and I think they felt that the youngsters would react to her, but it's backfired badly now, and I think it really does need something doing.
All right, look, I really appreciate you coming on. It's great to chat to you, and I could talk to you all day, actually, about slightly less trivial matters, I suppose, than Carol Vorderman. Maybe next time. Maybe next time, that's what we will discuss.
OK.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
That's Graham Laurie there, squadron leader, former RAF pilot.